How's it going, guys? Mark Bursteiner here with Techno Buffalo, and I thought we'd do something a little more casual. I have a phone here that I want to talk with you guys about, but it is not a phone that is available in the US, and I'm not able to get a SIM card working in it, but I still wanted to share it with you, so I thought we would do a quick little video this way, less scripting, less couch, and kind of take a quick look at the Lenovo Zuk Z1. This thing is a really interesting device. It's available overseas, and I believe in China. The device is really interesting. Let me give you guys a closer look here. You might recognize a few of the kind of bits and pieces of the device itself. Looks a little familiar. You might say it looks a little iPhone-y. But on the actual display, you're seeing Android, of course. But when you open up that drawer, that looks a little weird, doesn't it? That is Trebuchet. That's because this thing runs Cyanogen mod. So if you guys are familiar with ROMs, Cyanogen is probably one of the most popular ones, and it brings with it a ton of really cool customizations. The device itself, in terms of hardware, isn't really terribly cool beyond a handful of things. Number one thing, it's a 4100 milliamp hour battery. And since the display is only a 1080p display, we don't have to worry about too much in terms of usage. So this 4100 milliamp hour battery should hypothetically last a really good long time. And in my experience, it really does. Obviously, like I mentioned, I can't quite get it working with US SIMs, but the device itself feels strong in the hand. The battery life is fantastic. The screen is great. The fingerprint sensor down here on the bottom is one of the most accurate fingerprint sensors I've used on an Android device, believe it or not. So I've had a fantastic time using this thing. The buttons are clicky. It's not too big. I can almost touch my finger from around the side. I can swipe type one-handed. It's just a fun, fantastic little device that happens to run basically the best third-party custom ROM that you can get. We're looking at internal storage of 64 gigs. Of course, that is not expandable via micro SD because this is all unibody. But what you do see on the side here is that SIM tray. This is a dual SIM slot, and it also happens to have 3 gigabytes of RAM. That's right, 3 gigabytes of RAM. And since it's Cyanogen, you can do a bunch of really cool things like customizing these bottom buttons here. You can switch those. Right now, the right button is the back button, and the left button here is the multitasking. You can switch that around if you want to. All the cool stuff that you can do with Cyanogen, you can see right here. Themes, buttons. Let's pop into buttons real quick. So you can see, you can switch to an on-screen enabled nav bar if you want to. You can turn that off. You can have the backlight on and off on these buttons down here. You have a bunch of other options for your nav bar if you turn that on. And again, this is stuff that you can only really get on Cyanogen. Google doesn't let you mess around with this kind of stuff. You can have settings for your home button, your power button. It's a really, really cool device. Unfortunately, like I said, pricing doesn't really make all that big of a difference because it's not going to be available here in the US. But I did want to share it with you. My only major quip with it is quarrel, I don't know, is that the camera is okay. It's pretty fast and it runs Cyanogen's camera software, but the HDR mode is way too aggressive. It's really uncomfortably aggressive. It makes cheeks all look really pink and colors look all really poppy and saturated. And I don't get that issue when HDR is turned off, but the camera software is just delightful to use. If you guys have ever used Cyanogen's camera software, you'll notice it's just easy to use, and it's just a fantastic phone. So all those cool Cyanogen features like Trebuchet and the cool camera app and the ability to customize so much stuff on the device, that is going to run you about $320 USD. You can, like I said, get it in the US, but it is not going to work on LTE bands in the US. You can get it to work on HSPA+, so if that's okay for you, then by all means pick one up. But if you live internationally, this is a great device to pick up at $320. All-day battery, decent camera, strong screen, good color, fingerprint sensor, Cyanogen mod. What more can you really ask for? So that's my quick look at the Zuk Z1. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, there's a like button right down there below it. There's also a bunch of comments where everybody's having some calm, civil discussions about phones. And on the way down there, you can hit that subscribe button if you would like to get these videos as soon as they come out directly to your little notification drawer. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Be kind to one another, and I'll catch you in the next video.